So, the movie's Summering was directed by James Ponsoldt and takes place literally at the end of summer. So is this the movie you should be checking out before the fall starts? Well, let's get into it. Hello friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side, a place to live, talk, and buy movies. And real quick, if you have seen this movie, go ahead and comment down below what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Are you waiting to hear my opinions before you go check it out? I'm kind of flattered, but let's get into it anyway. So, full disclosure, I had no idea this movie existed until about 3 p.m. this past Monday. There was an 8 o'clock showing in my local theater, and I had a few hours I needed to kill, so I figured, hey, why not go check out something that was totally not on my radar at all. Anyway, so the lights dimmed and the movie began, and it starts out as this nice, sentimental story about 4 young girls towards the end of their summer vacation. They're about to go into middle school, and of course they're afraid their friendship is going to be tested a bit because it's a new stage in their lives, so they're just trying to enjoy what's left of their summer vacation. And then they find a dead body. And you know, of course, one of the kids was like, hey, let's be logical and call 911. But the rest of them were like, no, he is our responsibility now.
Somebody f***ing died!
So before we go too deep into the rest of the story and the plot, spoilers by the way, let's just talk about the positives. Number 1, this is a really well shot movie. It feels like every frame was meticulously planned out. The cinematographer Greta Zozula definitely pulled her weight in this movie. And of course the main leads are these 4 kids, and well, they are children, so their acting chops are not going to be as good as some of the, adult actors. But for what it's worth, these girls actually do a pretty decent job. Primarily Leah Barnett, who plays Lake Bell's daughter in the movie. She is definitely the strongest of the 4 leads. She carries the emotional weight of the entire film, and I fully expect her to have a really great career going forward. But back to the film. So then the kids go around town trying to figure out who this dead guy is. How did he die? Was it suicide? Was it murder? But then it'll occasionally go back to, oh no, it's the end of the summer and we're going into middle school. Are we gonna be friends still? And then it goes into this, sub-story about, Leah's character and her father walking out on her and her mother about a year ago and the struggles of that. And that's one thing, is that element of the movie was by far the strongest piece of it. And there's one scene that focuses entirely on that towards the later part of the movie, where it's just this well-executed, tense moment where the emotions really pile up, and it's like, wow, that was incredible. If they just focused on that element, plus, the end of summer thing, this movie would have been 10 times better. But then no, they had to throw in a dead body and they're trying to figure that out. And then there's like supernatural elements in there too, like they start to perform a seance, which is where the movie starts to get really incoherent and just lacks a lot of focus, because then it just can't decide if it wants to be this or that. It's trying to do all of it, but I don't think it blends together all that well. And that's also where things just get messier and messier in terms of logic. Some of that, of course, is just little nitpicky stuff like, one of the girls throwing the other girl's phone because they don't want, their moms to figure out what's going on, to mind-boggling what the f*** moments. Like Leah Barnett's character getting her mom's gun out of the living room drawer because her mother, who's also a cop by the way, just leaves a loaded weapon out in the open where her minor child can get to it. Also, why is she packing a gun to begin with? It does come into play later, but it's like, this is how you introduce that? And then later in the movie, they can't use any of their own computers and they can't go to the library. So they break into the school that's, totally closed, and they download a dark web browser on the school computer and start accessing the dark web. What? What? I don't know when the last time any of the filmmakers were in elementary school, but back in my day, the elementary school computers were heavily restricted. Like, all the cool websites, YouTube, Club Penguin, Yahoo News, those were all completely blocked. The only things one could access were funbrain.com and the school's website. That's about it. And these girls just break into the school and just start accessing the fucking dark web. Oh god, I'm gonna die. So then as the movie starts to wind down a bit, it starts to kind of drop the supernatural murder mystery side of things, then goes back to being it's the end of summer, we're kids, let's be friends forever thing. So when it got to that part of the movie, it was like, oh my god, if they don't mention the dead body at all for the rest of the movie, that's gonna be amazing. But then of course they go back to the woods at the end of the movie where the dead body has been this whole time to discover he's gone. Maybe he was never there to begin with. Somebody fucking died. Now, I think I really need to pause for a second here and just let you know that I don't want you to take the way I'm, perceiving the movie, the wrong way. This isn't just some tiny movie I chose to dunk on for the sake of, oh, it's little, it's okay. That's not it at all. Because this movie, there is genuine effort and care on display here. The problem is the movie just starts to lack a lot of focus, and it just gets more and more incoherent as things go on, but it does have some really interesting things it's trying to play with. The trouble is, it's just riddled with all kinds of cliches, not enough runtime to pull it all off, even though I don't think any of the filmmakers wanted somebody like me to be here and just be like, what is this movie? At the end of the day, it's stuck in my head, and I felt the need to make a full-length review talking about it. So this is definitely not me trying to say, avoid this movie at all costs or whatever. No, actually, I think you all should definitely go check it out, whether it be theatrically or, rent it on VOD whenever it comes out. Go explore some different movies once in a while, even if they may just, make you scratch your head for 90 minutes. So the movie's summaring gets an A for effort, but I am gonna give the film a silver unboxing machete. So, those are my thoughts on Summering. If you want to see some more movie reviews from me, I got a playlist for that right over here. Or if you want to see what YouTube recommends you watch me next, you can check out that video right down there. And of course, subscribe if you live talking by movies. And we'll see you on the Brockopp side.